ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषाय शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। It's a very famous shloka. Many people remember this shloka. In fact, when so many people chant, at least you should remember after that. We would have asked Arjuna after 1 minute, he would have repeated to you the whole Gita, correct? But we can't remember, so therefore we repeat. That is the purpose of so many times repeating. At least one shloka should be remembered. In fact, the Shruti Phala is so beautiful because these are the words from Krishna. You cannot even imagine the benefit. Even if you just chant the shloka, there is unimaginable benefit. And if you understand the meaning, then it is beautiful. So Arjuna's main contention was that he is going to kill his grandfather. He is going to kill so many people there. Krishna is saying, your grandfather or anybody here is not the body, it's soul, and soul cannot be killed by anything. Now this is a negative way Krishna is explaining the soul, because previous shloka also he talked about how the vasansi chainani yatha viha, just like we are changing the dresses, the soul changes bodies. So he is explaining in the way we are able to understand. We can't see the spiritual domain now, but we are able to see the material domain. Okay? So Krishna is explaining it that way. We are all changing dresses every day. Okay? The same way the soul changes bodies. Easy to understand. The same way Krishna is saying, and now in another way, we see certain things can be, cut by shastrani. Anything you see in this world, somehow we can cut it finally. But it says soul cannot be cut by any weapon you can imagine. So what are you talking about killing the soul here? Now Prabhupada is going to explaining the purport that there are so many kind of weapons. In fact, these are not basically part of the Veda, they are called Upavedas. And it is very interesting that you see the seat of material learning in the world was Germany. All the scientific discoveries, most of the weapons, in fact they ran to America, they ran to Russia. Basically Germany is the one who developed a lot of material knowledge. And they took, during the British rule, lot of literatures from India, which was in Sanskrit. These are not Vedas, they are called Upavedas. Upa means just like you have Ayurveda, it gives you the medical science. It's perfect. Similarly, there is Dhanurveda. There is so many Vimana, so many sciences. That's why they learned Sanskrit. Even now in Germany, there are a lot of people expert in Sanskrit. Why they became so interested? Unfortunately, they didn't get the real thing in the Vedas, which is spiritual knowledge. Sometimes in India also we get more interested in the Bhagavad. Second, it's not very important. And to a certain extent now it has been imitated in the world. Either you say stolen from the Upavedas or they discovered on their speculation, God gifted them the knowledge. But that knowledge is not very interesting because anyway it has been imitated. Now you say some Siddhi, you can fly in the sky. Anyway we have airplanes now. So that extent these all have been imitated. Okay? You're going inside a stone, we can make a tunnel nowadays. But what is unfortunate is that this is interesting the Indians today. And the real thing in the Vedas has nothing to do with this, it's secondary. Real knowledge is spiritual knowledge, Krishna is speaking here. This has not struck. Even today, the best of the thinkers are not able to understand this knowledge. This is the real knowledge. That is secondary. Finally, anyway you're going to die in this world, you fly in the sky or the land, doesn't matter, that's not very important. You're going to die and that will be great suffering. And then again you're born into this world, we don't know where. It's like some people get very much attached to Mangalore. Even they go outside Bangalore, and old age they come and settle in Bangalore. Correct? Good, you are so attached. Next time you will be born in Bangalore, but karma is not good. You will be born like an insect or some, correct? Or some goat or whatever. So it has to be very, this knowledge, therefore what is being addressed here is most important compared to any other knowledge. Mostly people get enchanted by material knowledge. And then being enchanted like that, there's so much aspire. Oh, perhaps if I can go to America, I can learn. Prabhupada was there in a university and he gave a class on this spiritual knowledge. And then after that, one student said, Swamiji, what is the use of all this? Now we need technology. So Prabhupada gives an answer. He said, yes, you want technology, you remain a beggar. You remain a beggar. But I have not come to beg anything from this country. I have come to give a more important knowledge than this technology. In fact, technology is the knowledge of the Shudras. Nothing more. I told you many times, I had gone to one college, that NIT, famous college. And somehow at that time, that was one of the first visits there. They asked me to address the fourth year people. They're all sitting like, why we have to hear Swamiji? They were telling, one of them whispered, Swamiji, we are good people, what is there to tell us values? But they don't know what I have come to speak. I said, see, there are 4 kinds of technologies. One technology is to separate body and the soul. That is called Brahmana technology. Brahma janati iti Brahmana, who understands spirit. Brahmana is not by birth. Brahmana is a person who is able to separate body and soul. And honestly speaking, we are not on that platform. None of us here, including me. The next platform is Kshatriya platform, where we are able to separate, where we are able to understand how to rule this world, how to govern, correct? How on the behalf of the Lord govern this world. That is Kshatriya. Kshatriya is not independent. Naradeva is completely following the guidance of the Lord, representing the Lord in this world. That also you don't know. Brahmana technology, do you know? No, sir. Vaishya technology comes 3rd class, which is considered highest today. How to make money. But at the same time, Krishi Goraksha, they have to protect the cows. We don't see any businessman doing that, so there is no fit Vaishyas also today. To protect the human being in the business of the Kshatriyas, to protect the cows in the business of the Vaishyas. There are so many people taking role of Kshatriyas, and today you are here, you are worried. Robbery may not happen. In Bangalore also now started. Okay? Because there are no Kshatriyas. You have to be in constant state of fear. Kshatriya means he should reduce fear. Fear is there in his existence. At least reduce it so we can live in sanity. And then Shudra comes last. Shudra, how to twist an iron rod, how to bring electricity here. It's all Shudra knowledge actually. But because Kali Yuga is the age of the Shudra, this knowledge is given highest value. Because among Shudra, this is the highest. Got it? So this is the joke of Kali Yuga. So this knowledge is therefore not given much value, but people don't understand. This is the most important knowledge in the talking about me, talking about the soul. And this knowledge is going to solve my problem. I told you last week also, but I'll tell again. It is just like, say, the goats are getting slaughtered, cows are getting slaughtered, pigeons and hens are getting slaughtered. They cannot ask this question, why this is happening. Okay? Suppose in a slaughterhouse, animals have been gathered together, and one by one they are getting slaughtered. But an animal does not have this capacity to ask this question, why this is happening to me, why this person is doing like this. Correct? Who am I finally? What will happen to me after death? Animal does not have that capacity. Rather, just before slaughter, giving grass, great day today. That is how we are today. All of us will be slaughtered any day. We don't know where we are going after that. Every act we are doing, every karma we are doing is being recorded. So that Chitragupta, everything is being recorded. And we don't know where we will go to suffer all that reaction. Correct? You don't know. It's a fact actually. But animal is not bothered. We are also not bothered. So what's the difference between me and an animal? What is the difference? Isn't it? Is there any difference? No difference. So therefore, they should take benefit of this knowledge. Krishna is very kindly revealing, and Prabhupada says, there is no way, except on authority of Krishna, you can learn this. There is no other way. You cannot by a telescope, microscope understand this. Just like, if suppose you have to understand who is your father, you have to accept the word of the mother. That's it. Other ways are not certain. They do genetic matching, but then maybe the father has died, and best match is already there. It's not possible. You can whole life go on loop. Speculation is not the way to know things which are beyond the domain of the senses. It's foolishness actually. Prabhupada used to, as an acharya, say, what you are. Wow, speculation. You're so small. You can't understand all these things. Actually, somehow, we have artificially puffed up idea about the humanity, about knowing the truth by our senses. That's the modern age. The whole science is nothing but pratyaksha pramana. The pratyaksha pramana, look at the joke. 300 years of science, they're not able to understand the beginning of Gita. This is the beginning. Here in the second chapter, Krishna has started speaking. There is a limit to what you can know by speculation. Correct? You have to learn these things by hearing to the authority. So great fortune lies and great advancement lies when you accept the words of Lord Krishna. So he's saying here, Nainam Chandati Shastrani, so Prabhupada immediately pointing out the purport, very important thing. What is that? He said there were other weapons also at that time. Because he talks about all the Nainam Dahati Pavaka. They can have a wind weapon, they can have a water weapon. Today we don't know all those weapons, we only know fire weapons. Little of playing with the atomic energy, correct? But another thing, to make these weapons, they were not opening factories. They did not need that. Most of these weapons were used very rarely. Even now, in fact, it is used. There are some reports that say that Hitler knew how to make atomic weapons. Because the knowledge was actually, they ran some of the scientists, went to, even Einstein, they all went to America. Finally they developed it there. But when it was brought to him, Prabhupada says so. When they brought to him, he said no. He was more humane if he thought it would be too much to give this kind of a suffering. Prabhupada, in that way, he was better than the people who actually use the nuclear weapons. But anyway, even America, in the essence was, they will not use it at any time. At rarest of the occasions, these dangerous weapons are used. Okay, so this knowledge of these weapons was therefore not freely distributed, but they didn't need factories to make these weapons. No factories were needed. It was by subtle. Just like today, you see, more subtly you go, more the power is there. Correct? We say earth, we can throw a stone on somebody. Correct? The simplest way to fight. There is water. Water, like rivers, they cut through the mountains. Correct? You can see. The water is more powerful in that way. Earth, water, fire can evaporate water. It is even more powerful. And air can blow the fire anywhere. Air weapon. So you go subtler and subtler, the weapons become more and more powerful. Just like they went to the atomic energy, very subtle, very powerful fire weapons you are able to make. So similarly, if you enter another domain of mind intelligence, you can make even more subtler weapons in a sukshma level, because finally, a basic, just like atomic energy, atoms are very small, but by that the weapons are very dangerous, correct? So more subtly you go, more powerful weapons you can make. So they used to make these weapons just by playing with the subtle energy, ether. Ether we don't know, Akash, but they used to play with the ether and the mind. It's still material, nothing spiritual about them. But they used to create these weapons, just like Arjuna created so many weapons in the battlefield to fight against Karna, Dronacharya, Bhishma, Ashwatthama. They all knew subtle weapons. They used to create, that is called Divyastras. You can kill thousands, therefore they are called Maharathi. They can kill 1,000 soldiers at one time. Okay? So Prabhupada is pointing a joke at the modern day scientists. You only know fire weapons, but there are other weapons also. Acharya knows that actually. It's not that he can't reveal, but then that is not his work. He could reveal, I tell you, other weapons also. But then, people will be interested, please teach us that weapon. Nayanam dahati pavakaha. The soul, nothing can be done by any weapon that we know in the world. How much we know, after that you become peaceful. Correct? The Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Bhagavad Gita says, when you get the knowledge, you are not body or spirit, soul, immediately become joyful. Why? Even if somebody comes with a knife, with an atomic nuclear bomb on your head, you know nothing will happen to me. Na chayanam kled. Therefore, another thing that it says that soul can exist even on the sun planet. Yes. Sun planet is nothing like a big atomic weapon only. So much heat is coming out. There's a fission reaction as well. It's a weapon only. It's like a bomb only. But nothing can happen to the soul even on the sun planet. Now Prabhupada extends this meaning to clarify one more thing. That is about some misconception that the soul has been cut from the Lord, or soul can join the Lord. It's not true. Hey, because it is saying Nainam Chindanti, soul cannot be cut at any moment. Some people feel, no, I was God, but somehow I got separated from God. But now I am practicing spiritual life to one day go back and join God, merge in God. This is kind of idea is there. What will happen one day I'll become God. So Prabhupada is saying, no, the shloka is very clear, the soul cannot be cut. Okay? So it clarifies that one. Okay, this is as per the class goes today. Something I want to announce that we are going for Rameshwaram Yatra, I think most of us. And when we are coming back on Sunday evening, we have a nice seva. Some devotees did some hard work. They went for distribution of Gita. And I wanted everybody should take to it. We had the Nityananda Trayodashi actually. The main meditation was that even though he is Balaram himself, he did not feel embarrassed going to even the most wretched people. Correct? Jagai Madai were the most wretched people you can imagine, most sinful people, drunk on the road. And still, Nityananda Prabhu, this Balaram himself, went to them. Why did you chant Krishna? Now that if we ask, it will be difficult today. So Prabhupada has made our life simpler. You go to sell my books. So we have Bhagavad Gita, so everybody knows. You can see the stock here. I have 1,000 in Kannada, 1,000 in English, 1,000 in Malayalam. So we have good stock. And it's not that we can take encouragement. We both were seeing this December month itself, some temples have distributed Gitas more than 1 lakh. Gita daily distributed almost more than 3 lakh Gitas in Delhi, the devotees did it. Bombay they crossed 2 lakh, like that, and many temples more than 1 lakh. I think we didn't do even 1,000. So there is a long way to go. Take encouragement of devotees. But it's such a nice thing actually, because even though you are hearing this, you cannot realize this unless you serve Krishna. This knowledge will remain a theory whole life unless you come forward to serve. And nothing is more pleasing to Krishna when you go out. You may not distribute one Gita, doesn't matter. But you go out for an attempt itself to distribute Krishna's book. Prabhupada used to say, these books have no competition. There is no comparison. Correct? Gita, Bhagavatam has no comparison, there is no competition. It's the rarest of the rare books on earth. In fact, they are the only books of knowledge. Other books that people are reading are all books of novels and all is rubbish. Otherwise, they read some skills, medical, engineering, just some skills. Knowledge is actually who am I, why I am suffering. Knowledge begins at that point. People are not even aware of that. Correct? So one thing we should read personally, that will make you, but at the same time when you distribute books, you will get blessings of the Lord to understand Gita. Because Gita is a great mystery. To develop realizations of this is not easy. It will take many lifetimes. Correct? But when you come forward to distribute Bhagavad Gita, something mystic happens. When you do serve a great acharya, you are distributing Gita is the order of Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Natatasmad manusya sho Kashchit me priyakrtavaha. There is nobody dearer to me than he who takes us his message to distribute his words. So somehow, in fact, I never told anybody, but self-enthusiasm, they took it up and they're doing nice service. But other people are also, I wanted they should join. Never have this conception, I am richer. It's all rubbish. Who is rich in this world? All of us are rotten here. They are rotting in the material existence. This whole idea of upadi should go away. Sarvopadi vinay bhakta. You cannot offer service to Krishna. Upadi is sticking on me. I am Indian, I am woman, I am rich, I am poor, all rubbish. Tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikeshu sevanam bhakti uchite. And it has many benefits. Any service has many benefits. And this service particularly, we become very humble, which is very important in spiritual life. It's very difficult to advance in spiritual life unless you become humble. And you cannot go to somebody, hey, you want Gita? I said, please get lost and go somewhere else. You have to become humble. Please, you have come to your door, you'd like to have Bhagavad Gita. And it is so nice. We can go along with the people who are already doing and see how it expands. I will be very happy. More and more people can participate. And more and more Gita can be distributed. And how much satisfaction you will feel. See, Prabhupada says, nobody invited me to come to America. We have to be aggressive in spreading this woman. If anybody is given invitation, please come to the country. Nobody. He went there and nobody was saying we want to read. He created interest in them to read Gita. That is called preaching. Somebody told Prabhupada, in this country I can't preach. Nobody is interested. Prabhupada said, that is not preacher. Preacher means make them interested. There is some kind of thing, you just deal with the market. One thing is you create a market. Many products, good companies, they create market. Not that they deal with the market. They create market. There should be vigorous propaganda. Otherwise you see in Mangalore, what is the condition? They know about spiritual life, but mostly Buddha worshippers. Their condition. Don't think they are very advanced spiritually. Mostly ritualistic, attached to their own communities, and whatever their Swamiji says in their community they follow. Even Swamiji says they don't follow me. Many of the Swamijis, I say they are no use to speak because you don't listen to me. That's the condition. Mostly very materialistic society. They are in need of this knowledge. Just like you're all benefiting. How much pleasure you will have when they come and tell you, I can thank you so many times. I'm reading Gita now. My life is changed. Correct? How much satisfaction it is. So in whichever way, it is individually very difficult. But God has gifted, so many of you vehicles are there. You can go together to some area. There are so many areas actually. In fact, it is always middle class and low middle class the best candidates. Rich people will have to face dogs and their big gates. They will not open their place. They are always open, By various circumstances, they are very humble. In fact, they are delighted somebody has come to their door. Very happy because nobody comes. Rich people, there is a queue, for donation and all. Poor people, nobody goes. They are very happy. But by God's grace in Mangalore, nobody is poor. Today, one man came, there are some, 30, 40 coconut trees in this whole compound of 3 houses. And 50 rupees per tree. Imagine what he has made in a day. You think he can't afford a Bhagavad Gita? Anybody can. In this belt, by God's grace, nobody is poor. Nobody is hand to mouth here. So there is unlimited. Prabhupada says these books can be distributed unlimitedly. Okay? In fact, with the help of students also now, we are forming some parties in different places. But here also, at least one thing can be prominent, that everybody participates. True, we will try to add up like what we had previously. We can have some buses and all to add up, beautiful buses. But there or not there, this is ahetuki. Ahetuki apratihata yatma suprasidati. Savai pumsa paradharma. Acharya Prabhupada itself used to go tea stall to tea stall to sell the magazines he was printing in the beginning. Today you are reading in America how the first time the books were printed, teachings of Lord Chaitanya, it's a tough book actually. You give it to anybody, you try to read teaching, it's a summary of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's not an easy book. And that was one of the first books which came, hard-bound books to the temple, printed. It was lying in the temple only. People, devotees, all were selling for 25 cents that Back to God magazine, which people used to buy. Magazine is much easier to sell. How do you sell this book? It was lying in the temple. First time it was sold was when somebody was in a gas station, we were reading today. And when he had to pay the petrol bill, he said, do you like to have a look at this book? So the person had a look at the book and he says, okay, I'll take this. And he deducted from the bill. That's the first book. Devotee was so scared the books can be sold only. And later then it exploded. The same way, we may not be knowing, but it is so nice, so many of you are very wonderful devotees. But our service to Prabhupada, Prabhupada used to say, each of my devotees should be expert in distributing his books. There was one service he wanted everybody to know. We will specialize in so many other services, but one service everybody should be specialized in distributing. And that's a great service too. Prabhupada used to say, if you think you have benefited from whatever I've told you, one thing you should do, try to give this message to other person. But when we go and speak, people may not listen, but when you give Gita to them, everybody in India is respectable, at least in India. I like to read what Gita. And then they are hearing explanation coming from Guru Parampara. It's beautiful. There's no comparison. And they will be unlimitedly benefited. So I hope more people take to it. In fact, they have a team today in 2 cars event. And I want to shoot it big. Desire it. Anything can happen. It's not that, anything big starts from small. And you all people go and you meet people, and then you give an address of the temple also. And you should print some small address books, small notebooks where they take down the name and phone number of the people. Because 1 in 100 you're filtering out. You meet 10 houses, you find one person who's, a candidate for Krishna consciousness. Follow-up should be there. We call up, why don't you come? We have a program. And some localities slowly we are trying. In fact, next Sunday evening you're all invited. For 3 months they did book distribution in one place. Correct? I don't want to make it proud, but I want to encourage. Nice things should be encouraged. So, in the same area, they have taken up a place, there was a Bhajana Mandira there, to start weekly classes. So they went house to house to the same people, gave pamphlets. Sunday evening, where is the place? Ram Bhajana Mandira, which place? Konchadi. The Delhi-Bell area, Konchadi. Correct? So, those all who want to come but early here. In fact, we will be landing in the morning back from the Rameshwaram Yatra, and after that, somebody still wants to come, there are ways tickets can be worked out. A little bit expensive, but can be worked out. You have to take from here to Chennai and get down in Coimbatore, like that. But it still can be managed. So like that. Okay. So evening, if people can come a bit early, we can coordinate, we can go together with them. At least the first program should be like what we have here. Big program. The people will get up there. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Question, sir. Is Atma present in Brahman and Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra, whether it's the same or whether there is a difference, Atma, in the body of.
Bhagavad Gita says, no? Bhagavad Gita says the shloka. Panditaha vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihasini shuni chaiva sapake cha panditaha samadarshanaha. There may be a qualified brahmana, correct? And there is, what is a qualified? We are not talking about birth. We are talking about qualified brahmana. Qualified brahmana. Birth has no value. So vidya vinaya sampanne. So these are the posts. Somebody acquired the post of a doctor. Somebody acquired the post of an engineer, correct? So these are the posts. Brahmana is the post to be acquired in the society. Correct? So it is said, Panditaha Samadarshana. He knows soul is similar. But it's not that now there is a difference now. I just completed. It's not that a dog comes and a Brahmana comes, you will give equal respect. No. Now when a judge comes, you have to give him different. A prime minister comes, different respect. And a dog comes, you different respect. But we know potentially both are same. We don't differentiate at heart of the heart. We know it is similar. It is not the same soul. Similar. You got it? It is not one soul is there. That there is one soul here, there is one soul there. Two different souls. A Brahmana soul and a dog soul. We are not talking of birth Brahmana. Birth has no value. Somebody has acquired the post of a Brahmana. He and a dog. You will deal differently. It's not a Brahmana comes, you will say Panditji Namaskar. And dog comes, you will not say Panditji Namaskar. It's a dog. Does it complete?
Yes.
Yes, some people created this conception, or rather misconception, that he has done a lot of papa karma, so he is in a dog body. He has done a lot of punya karma. Therefore, he is born in a Brahmana family. In Kali Yuga, that picture should not be there. Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Kali, everybody is born Shudra. And there is Janmana Jayate Shudra, Samskara Bhave Dvija, Veda Pādhan Bhave Vipra, Brahma Janati Iti Brahmana. Janmana Jayate Shudra, everybody is Shudra. But dog, you can't train him. He will remain like a Shudra only. Then Samskara Bhave Dvija. If we can train him, he will come to next level, he will become a Dvija. Okay? Dvija means he is taking shelter of an acharya. Dvija doesn't mean Upanayana, some so-called guru come paying 500 rupees, he forget. Dvija means no. He takes shelter of the samskaras, which guru will give. And he has to obey the guru whole rest of the life. They forget him after he leaves the ceremony. In Delhi, in my community it is, you have to do Jenu before marriage. You will not be married otherwise. People do it 1 hour before the marriage. I don't know whether South India also it has started. North India it has already. 1 hour before, 1 day before it is done. So, and then Veda Pādhan Bhavet Vipra. If you know the Vedic knowledge, you become Vipra. Brahma Janati Iti Brahmana. So the same soul when he evolves to Brahma knowledge, it is called. Shri Prabhupada ki.